After more than a month under government-imposed closure, the shutters are starting to be raised. Europe is taking its first cautious steps out of lockdown. Many Italian bookshops, stationery stores and children's clothing shops were allowed to reopen on Tuesday, albeit with strict conditions. But in a country which has seen more than 20,000 fatalities from the virus, the relief is mixed with fear.
I think the right thing is to prevent every possibility of infection. Obviously, one needs to balance this with the need for normal life to resume, but always remembering that the risk is still very high.
Better to be alive and poor. If the shops that reopen are totally safe for both workers and customers, then I am in favour. I worry that there will be a lot to do to get to that stage, though. Italy is not made up of just large companies with big spaces that can easily be organised.
Shops in Austria are also reopening for the first time since mid-March. And although shoppers are being urged not to stampede to the sales, there is a sense of optimism among Vienna's retailers.
Yes, actually we're in good spirits. The people have been locked up until now, and we have already received some requests by phone and email. People are in the mood for summer dresses. Yes, we're hopeful.
Our approach over the coming months is going to be very clear. As much freedom as possible, as much restriction as necessary. But let me add, should the figures develop in the wrong direction, we will of course pull the emergency brake, which we have in place should it become necessary.
Accurate data is crucial in knowing how and when to apply that emergency brake. The virus is ripping through the continent's care homes, where elderly residents are particularly vulnerable to infection. But in the UK, the government's daily death and infection statistics only include hospital patients, and new data suggests the real totals are much larger. Care home providers say the suggestion that UK government statistics are underestimating coronavirus deaths by some 15% are themselves underestimates. HC1, one of Britain's largest, operating 329 homes, including the one behind me, say the virus is now present in 2/3 of its residences, and that the deaths of 1/3 of its residents in the past 3 weeks have involved coronavirus. That's more than 300 people. Britain's coronavirus restrictions are being reviewed this week, with a decision by Thursday. On the current evidence, there's no possibility that the UK will be joining Italy, Austria and Spain in starting to lift its coronavirus confinement orders. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, Surrey.